Hello friends! Today we're going to talk about a very scary subject, UFOs. UFO stands for unfinished object, or a project that you've put down for some reason and have failed to pick back up. I have a lot of these, and I'm sure that many of you do as well. The excitement of picking up a new project is just so extreme that I forget about the things that I've had waiting in the wings and just press forward working on the new shiny thing that feels so exciting to do, forgetting about, unfortunately, some other projects that I was equally excited about when I started, but not so much once I started doing the work. Today I have a project that I had been working on for a while and wasn't quite turning out exactly how I wanted it to, and then I ran out of fabric. I had made 2 shirts out of the same piece of fabric, and only one of them was I able to finish. The other one I ran out of fabric before I could put the collar on it. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up the neckline of that shirt and make a new collar for it out of a different contrasting fabric that I can detach. That way I can make as many as I want and always have one that matches the rest of the outfit that I'm wearing with it. After I get that situated, I'm also going to make a pinafore to go with the shirt because I don't really have an outfit that I can wear the shirt with, just the shirt itself. So we're gonna make something that I can wear with it so that I have a full outfit, collar, shirt, pinafore. So with that being said, let's get started. Here's what I started off with. A simple white shirt with ruffled sleeves but no closures and an unfinished neckline. The intent was for the shirt to have a high ruffled collar and a pleated section in the front, but alas, it was not meant to be. Today, we're going to make a detachable collar to add visual interest to the neckline where the ruffle would have been. To start off, use a well-fitting shirt to mark the size of the neck hole, then draw the shape of the collar directly onto the paper. I made a scallop-shaped Peter Pan collar, but you can make it any shape. Trace half of the drawing onto muslin or scrap fabric to make a mock-up to ensure the collar fits around your neck. I used a piece of a mock-up from a different project I no longer needed. Fold this in half at the center line and cut it out so you end up with a full symmetrical collar. Once you try it on to make sure it fits, trace half the shape onto the fold of your fabric, making sure to cut it out with seam allowance. You'll want to double the fabric before folding it in half so that you end up with 2 pieces. Pin these together and sew it up, leaving a small gap to turn the whole thing right side out. Before you turn it, make sure to clip into the seam allowance, being careful not to clip through the stitches. This will make it easier for the collar to lay flat. Once you finish turning it, slip stitch the opening closed. I chose to top stitch the whole collar down after I turned it, which in hindsight I wish I hadn't done because I don't really like the look of it. You can choose to omit this step if you wish, or use a contrasting thread to add visual interest. Sew a hook and eye to the points of the collar, and voila, you're done. Now that I've got the collar finished, I'm going to go put a simple rolled hem on the neckline of the white shirt, and then I'll see you in the next part. So I'm ready to get started on the pinafore. To do so, I have a copy of my bodice block here, cut out of paper. A bodice block is just when you take all of your measurements, your neck, shoulder, bust, underbust, waist, hip, and you draw them all out on one piece of paper and then cut it to shape. You can use this for all sorts of things, from dresses to shirts to bodices. Just about anything that goes on your upper half. It makes drafting patterns really, really easy once you get the hang of how to make them. So let's make a mock-up. First, we must receive a surprise guest and shower her with affection. Trace your bodice block onto your mock-up fabric and extend from the hip in a diagonal A-line. I made a scooped neckline and extended the arm size for a nice open look. Cut your pieces out and sew them up to check the fit, then move on to the real fabric.
Well, the worst thing that could have happened in this moment has happened, and I do not have enough fabric to finish cutting out the pieces for this pinafore. This is what I got, and no matter which way I turn it, I always have at least one corner hanging off. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to shorten the pieces that I've already cut and just kind of do whatever length I can get it to. And I'll end up with more of a waistcoat type of garment than a dress, which is pretty sad. I've been excited to make this for a while, but hopefully this will work out and look cute. Otherwise, I'll be pretty sad. So I guess I'll make those changes and see you tomorrow.
So what I have here is
super cute. Love it. Except when I turn it to the side, you will see not all is well. So I definitely won't be able to wear this on its own. I think what I'm gonna do is point the front bits almost like a vest, and that'll give some visual interest to the front hem. But if that doesn't work out, I'll just cut it straight across and have a little short jumper type thing. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Let's add a pocket, because who doesn't love pockets? Trace around your hand to get the general size and shape. Pin the pocket pieces to the front and back pieces of the vest and finish the entire edge with a blanket stitch or serger. Then pin the front and back together, pinning the pocket pieces to each other as well. Make sure to orient your fabric in the right way so that the raw edge of the pocket is not visible from the outside of the garment. Because I didn't have enough fabric, I cut the front pieces of the vest into points. If you are making a regular pinafore, omit this step.
So I've sewed the whole vest together and I've cut the front into points, and all I have left to do is sew the buttonholes in, which is a little scary because I have never used a buttonhole foot before. I usually sew them by hand, and I don't have time to sew them by hand. So we're gonna see how that goes, and hopefully I don't ruin the whole thing. I'll see you guys when I do that. So that's that. Overall, I'm really glad to be finished with this project, as it's been sitting in a pile of my fabric for a pretty long time. There are a couple things that I would have done differently if I knew how they were going to go from the beginning. Firstly, the buttonhole foot. I practiced it once before I started putting the buttonholes in, but I should have done it a little bit more. Some of the buttonholes are uneven, or I accidentally seam ripped through the side of one, and that went about as well as you would expect it to. So I had to patch it up there. The buttons themselves are sewed a little bit too close together on the shirt, but the buttons came out pretty good on the vest. I'm overall really happy with the vest.
except I would have lined it if I had enough fabric and interfaced the points so that they didn't curl. But it adds some character, so I'm okay with it. The only thing I would change with the collar is it's a little short in the back. There's gapping between the shirt and it because it's not long enough to cover the gap. So I would have to make the band a little bit wider, but other than that, I really love how it turned out. Other than that, I'm really thrilled with how this project turned out. You know, I'm gonna add this to my regular wardrobe and make some other things to go with it, I guess. I really love the collar, and I'm going to make about 100 more of them in different colors and fabrics. So thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed what you saw, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.